So I really briefly want to talk about returns and how they're handled on each platform. So let's knock Poshmark out of the way first and foremost. On Poshmark, customers file return requests from time to time, and depending on the situation, you can either obviously message back support when they actually have the return request and say, hey, I don't think it should be able to be returned for X, Y, and Z reasons, or you can just accept it, and then you don't have to worry about paying for the cost of shipping back. Poshmark handles that. It's really easy because then you can just return the item completely free. I'm going to show you that at the end of this video on how you can return any Amazon item for free, right? Also, you can return pretty much any Walmart item for free, pretty much any eBay item for free, as long as you don't abuse that. We're going to talk about that briefly at the end of this video. But so understand that Poshmark returns, you don't get that many. I probably get one every 20 or 30 orders-ish, depending. And usually it's my fault. It's when I, ship something that's similar because I couldn't find that product because it went out of stock or something along those lines. Or maybe I mixed up order labels because I was doing it too fast. This happens all the time to me during Q4 when orders are just crazy. So for example, let's say it got broken. Obviously, I'm just going to say that they can return it. If, for example, they realized that they got a different product than they were supposed to, and I was the reason for that because I shipped them the wrong product, then I would own up to that, saying something along the lines of, hey, I have two of these that are very similar, and it looks like I accidentally sent you the wrong one. I'm sorry, this was my mistake, so I own it, and then I let them return it, right? Then the buyer's happy. They don't feel like they got scammed. Poshmark's happy because now we're both amicably handling it, and I'm happy because it didn't ding my metrics. I didn't have to cancel an order, and I'm still able to then return it on Amazon for free or Walmart or wherever. Now, if it is their fault, right? For example, like they say, hey, I didn't realize that this was a small. I wanted a medium even though I ordered a small. Or, hey, I don't like the way that this actually looks on me. Or, hey, I changed my mind. I don't want it anymore. Or something along those lines, I'll typically fight that back because on Poshmark, they're not allowed to just return anything as long as it was listed properly and described properly, right? So if it's the right pictures and it's the right description and they got exactly what they ordered, they're technically not allowed to return it. So you can say that in their return request. Make sure that you say, this was exactly the right condition, description, variation, color. The buyer got exactly what they ordered, and so this isn't returnable. The same thing goes with Mercari, right? So Mercari has switched their return policy a few times, but currently at the time of recording this, you are able to dispute it again. So I use the same approach, right? If it's my fault, then I'll just let them return it. If it isn't my fault and for whatever reason they want to return it for any number of those reasons, then I'll fight it and I'll say something along the lines of like, hey, this was described exactly what it was. The buyer got exactly what they ordered and this isn't returnable. And on those platforms, generally speaking, if you're true in that, and it is, then they'll side with you and they won't let them return it. Every once in a while, it is up to the human reviewer's discretion. So every once in a while, they will accept it and they'll just send it back anyway. But that's the price of doing business on these websites. So understand that. Now, on Facebook Marketplace and other platforms like that, you do have to cover the return shipping, right? So you have to pay that. And so I handle that a little bit differently on Facebook Marketplace. So on Facebook Marketplace, if, for example, they do want to return it, and again, if it's my fault, then I'll just pay for the shipping. I'll eat the cost, or I'll refund them, or I'll send them another, or whatever. That's the price of doing business, and it only happens every once in a while. Less if you're shipping the right products and you're doing it correctly. But if they do want to return it for one of their reasons, right? They didn't like it, or it doesn't fit right, or whatever the case is, then I'll usually say something along the lines of, yeah, you can return it. Send them the return address. Be like, this is the return warehouse. You can send it back here. But I do not cover return shipping, right? I don't say that. I just tell them where they can ship it. If they want to ship it back on their dollar, I'll return it for them and then refund their money, right? And every once in a while, you'll get somebody that complains. It's like, hey, you're not going to pay for the return shipping. And I can just tell them at that point, it's my policy that I don't cover return shipping, but they're welcome to return it. And when we receive it back, we'll issue them a refund. So I will post to this actual lecture my template for that and what I say on Facebook Marketplace. It works very well, as well as all the other customer service templates that I have for Facebook Marketplace as well. I will post them to this lecture so that you can use them. They're very helpful. But keep a log of these so you can just kind of fire in responses that obviously fit, and you don't have to type it out every single time. It goes so much smoother. Now, you can return anything on Amazon, anything on Walmart, anything on eBay, or etc. if you tell them it was damaged and it showed up that way, right? Now, this is going to be your call, and you need to make the decision yourself if obviously it's not damaged, whether or not you want to damage it yourself and then ship it back. Because obviously if it showed up damaged, it wasn't what you were expecting, and so they need to honor the return and the refund. Now, again, that is an ethical concern, so it's up to you to make that judgment call if you want to do that. I'm just giving you all the tools and then letting you decide what you want to do, but you can return pretty much any product if you say that. you show proof of it, obviously, that would indicate that you do need to damage it yourself, right? So whether you rip it, you break it, whatever, I'm not telling you to do that. I'm just saying that is an option. Again, giving you all the tools from my experience if you want to go that route. Now, on Amazon specifically, you can also return anything by just simply saying it's an inaccurate website description. I'm going to show you that right after I'm done speaking. I'm going to drop a video that I did teaching you how to do that very, very easily so you can return any product for free. Obviously, that's going to increase your margins because you don't have to pay to ship it back, which will then cut into your costs for orders that you're actually not getting profit on, right? So that's pretty much everything about returns and how I handle them on different platforms. Really hope it helps.